Bitcoin was trading in a pattern that I was considering quite bearish. I was saying that Bitcoin could dump out of it and fall very, very low. However, it actually did something very, very interesting, very bullish for about half a day. And unfortunately, that chart has now failed. Let's break down what happened here. I'm going to break down exactly what we've seen here, why this is really bad, and why most people don't really understand this, and why I think Bitcoin still is leaning to the downside. Obviously, guys, I still think that Bitcoin is going to be shooting up to all-time highs eventually. It's in a bullish rally overall. If we zoom out, this trend looks amazing. We went up very high. We fell down 50%. So what? This happens in a bull market. But what I want to break down is the short term right here, because the short-term trend is still looking bad. Let's take a look at this. I've been talking to you a lot about this descending triangle, on this YouTube channel, which is this this diagonal blue line and this horizontal blue box. It forms a descending triangle where the price is fluctuating in a pattern that looks a little bit like this, hopefully, and eventually it's got a 66% chance of breaking down and a 33% chance of breaking up inside of a downtrend. So usually these kind of patterns will break to the downside. What we saw yesterday though was what I mentioned is possible but unlikely, which is that Bitcoin can actually break above this blue line and start rallying up to $40,000. Unfortunately, Bitcoin could not get that high. It only topped out at about $41,000, and since then we've seen a little bit of a sell-off, and it's been a slow sell-off, so it definitely could be temporary before it continues trading up. But for now, we have started to slip below important areas of support. We could have used this line as support, and actually at the beginning we did. If we zoom in onto, for example, the 30-minute time frame, it's pretty clear to see right here, ladies and gents, that the market did end up moving above this level and coming back down to test it as support. And this is quite important because previously we used this area as resistance a few times. Look, bam, got a rejection here, sent us lower. Rejection here, sent us even lower than that. The next time though, we came up to this level, we found support. Not once, but actually twice. But eventually we have now fallen below it. And this is where it starts getting a little bit concerning, because if we're actually trading with a pattern like this, but we don't manage to get a full breakout, right? If we just kind of peak above it, but there's no real momentum behind it, we're not really actually trending that high up, and there's a lot more resistance later on that I'm going to show you in this video. There's a lot more resistance right around here, which is making it very difficult for Bitcoin to actually peak up right now, in my opinion. When we've got that kind of setup and the market just kind of loses its momentum and it starts falling back down to these support levels, this can't be a good sign, in my opinion. There's just no way that this can end very well. The best case that I do see for Bitcoin right now is, a bounce off this $38,000 level, which could definitely happen because look, we used this area as resistance quite well in the past. We even used it as support very, very nicely. Just recently, recently it was resistance, recently it was support. So this is definitely a level that Bitcoin could find support from and rally higher. But my friends, if this fails, that means we're going to be falling back below not only this blue diagonal line, but also this yellow resistance level at $38,000. And many more other areas of resistance that I'll be showing you in just a minute to really break down why this is such a big deal. And there's actually one new bit of analysis that my analyst brought to me, our lead analyst inside of Forflies VIP. He is one of the guys that's able to spot things that I might miss. That's why we don't actually tend to miss many things in the market, because it's not just me behind the Forflies VIP group. And he's actually pointed out something very interesting that I want to show you later on in this video. But we have started to get a little bit of a slip down. And if we measure this from the breakout point, Bitcoin did manage to rise up by about 4.5%, which is pretty damn good. But from that point, we've now dropped by 7%. So again, not great. We are experiencing bigger drops than the breakouts that we're seeing. And this all comes together to paint quite a scary picture. When we zoom out just a little bit further, we start taking a look at things like momentum on this chart. Because what's happened here is that we just barely peaked above momentum on the 4-hour time frame, and we've started to now dip a little bit lower, showing us that resistance here is working. On the Ichimoku cloud on the 4-hour time frame, we got a rejection here. This is actually something that I was warning you about in the previous live stream. So shout out to those of you who have been hitting up the likes and subscribing to this YouTube channel. Obviously, this content is very time sensitive, so you need to make sure that you're getting it as soon as possible. This channel is all about realistic analysis. I'm telling you, I think we're eventually going to hit all-time highs, but I'm also telling you that right now this is bearish. This is not the kind of stuff that you're going to enjoy listening to, and that's exactly why, if you're paying attention, it's probably going to make you a little bit of money, because the reality is never what feels great to listen to. This is something I was mentioning in the previous live stream. Once again, those of you who are subscribed will know that. And it's where this area could start acting as resistance for the trend, because it is resistance on the 4-hour Ichimoku cloud. Now, if you don't know what the Ichimoku cloud is, then please go ahead and type this into the YouTube search bar now. This is a very famous Japanese indicator. Pretty complicated to learn, but what you'll see from this YouTube channel is that most of my analysis is extremely dead simple. I'm not using any indicators at all, just using lines, just using boxes. It's very, very simple analysis. I only make it complicated with 1 or 2 indicators, and the Ichimoku cloud is one of them. The EMA ribbon is the other one that I showed you recently. So please type this into the YouTube search bar now. Watch my tutorial. I'm going to show you how to get this indicator and how to use it. All of my best practices. Great video. You can watch that right there. We did get the rejection of this Ichimoku cloud though, and that has been what sent us down, and I don't think that that's much of a surprise. This actually gets a little bit worse when we consider the next pattern that Bitcoin is in, which is actually the new one that my analyst has shown me in this trend. And actually, to show you this, I'm going to start removing some of these lines because it's getting a little bit confusing. There's a lot of drawings on this chart, and what I really want to bring to your attention right now, ladies and gents, in this market, in fact, let's just delete everything. What I really want to bring to your attention is that right now Bitcoin is actually trading in a little bit of a wedge, or it was. It's not looking as scary now because actually we've fallen out of it. Where it was trading in a little bit of a wedge, we can see it on the 1-hour time frame a little bit better, but with the 4-hour time frame, it literally, I mean, it peaks right at this Ichimoku cloud. I mean, this is, it's a setup like, what this looks like to me right now, ladies and gents, is it looks like you've got a train track right here, and you've got somebody tied up, hog-tied on a train track, and the train's just coming down the track. That's exactly what it looks like to me. Like that somebody is on this train track. It's a murder that's already been set up. It's absolutely terrifying. You know what's gonna happen. It's very hard to avoid. You're gonna need a miracle to save you, fucking Spider-Man, to come down and swoop you up or whatever. Like you're not getting out of it unless some sort of miracle happens, which is entirely possible. It happens. We're trading Bitcoin at the end of the day. Crazy things happen, but for the most part, this was a bad setup. What we have right here was a typical bearish pattern culminating, peaking right inside of a massive resistance cloud right here on the 4-hour. And this is not a small resistance cloud. If you've already watched my Ichimoku cloud now because you paused, already watched my Ichimoku video because you paused the video earlier to watch the other video, you will know that the wider these clouds are, the bigger that resistance is. And look at how massive this resistance is getting. It was already very strong right here, indicating that this resistance is going to be very difficult for Bitcoin to break. And we've now started to get a rejection of it. Not only have we done that, we've also now fallen out of this wedge, because if I turn off this indicator and switch it over to the 1-hour time frame, we can see that we have fallen out of this wedge, and usually that would trigger a pretty catastrophic waterfall sell-off. So far we've not seen that, which is why actually this doesn't look as bad as otherwise. If we did get a waterfall sell-off, we would already know, and it would be pretty terrible. Right now there is still a chance that we find support off 38,000 and start rallying up to 42. So that's the next thing that I want to discuss with you, because ladies and gents, this volatility is absolutely huge. This is the kind of thing where if you really know what you're doing, you stand to make a lot of profits in this kind of market. VIPs have been demonstrating that left, right, and center. I need to refresh these testimonials, but they're so damn impressive, where during this crash, people who've known what they're doing because they're inside of the VIP group, because they have access to our VIP library with videos that are backdated on, just breaking down the trades that I've been making. VIP members are able to see exactly what I'm trading, where I'm trading it, the levels I'm entering, taking profits, and so on. They're getting tutorials that show them exactly how I'm trading those things as well on BuyBit, which is my exchange of choice, which this VIP member is also using. And actually just recently, just today, a few hours ago, I shared with VIP members the next trade that I'm looking to take. So this is a trade that I've been kind of teasing a little bit in these live streams and videos, but if you're not inside of the VIP group, you won't know much about it. This person right here at a profit during the crash, learning a lot through VIP, not trading nearly as much now after joining, but seeing that account growth. This person used to be delusional and probably would have lost their entire bank account if they never joined VIP. Thanks, Sammy. An absolutely beautiful message. Bam, 108. Bam, 74% profit. It gets better, 159% profit. This person toning it down, becoming less aggressive, but he still can't stop making triple-digit gains. It's very, very impressive. $80,000. I mean, you know, you've seen these testimonials. They're very, very impressive. If you know what you're doing in this kind of market, things are very, very hot. And what I mentioned to you in the previous live stream, ladies and gents, is that we've actually become a little bit overwhelmed with all the demand. We're getting hundreds of people asking to join VIP every single day now, like way more than we've ever had, and we have a team that's bigger than we've ever had before as well, but we still can't keep up with demand. So if it does keep going this way, I mentioned this yesterday, and it's getting even the demand is going even higher right now. If it keeps escalating this way and we just can't keep up with it, we're going to shut off VIP registrations. We've done this before, ladies and gents. The last time we did this was in February of 2018. February of 2018, we open it back in June 2018. That's a 4-month break. That's what happened the last time we shut off VIP registrations. We had to do it because we just couldn't scale. We had to focus on the product, not focusing on bringing more people on. Obviously, I want to make sure you guys are getting the best experience possible inside of VIP. And before that gets compromised, we're not going to be taking more people in. So if you want to get in, we're still running a discount. This is your time. Yearly members are getting the best package here, where you're also going to be able to get phone calls with me inside of the Four Flies VIP group, getting the Advanced Academy, which will teach you everything I know about trading from A to Z, which is so useful in this market right now, and a whole lot more. So definitely follow these steps. Click on the first link in the description down below, then the Four Flies button at the bottom of any post to ask me how to join VIP, and then send message, and I'll send you all the information about it right there. To give you all the information about Four Flies VIP, we'll send you everything, and we'll get you enrolled today. You want to make sure you're in before that registration thing happens. We don't know if we will cut it off, but if we do, it'll take a while to come back because we are trying to hire new people to keep up with all of this demand. So let's take it back to the chart here. We do still certainly have some potential to rise higher, but resistance is still at 42,000, and you know, it doesn't get much better because, like I just showed you with the Ichimoku cloud, this resistance is pretty high. You know, we've got this resistance with the solid line at 42,000. You know, Ichimoku resistance stretches all the way up to 44,000. You know, there's a lot more I can show you with, perhaps, for example, the daily exponential moving average ribbon. This is another indicator that I have a full tutorial on. You can find it by typing this into the YouTube search bar. You know, there is also some resistance over here, and this all the way this stretches all the way up to $50,000. So, you know, if we do pass these key areas of resistance that I'm seeing around perhaps 42, if we do pass these kind of areas of resistance, we're still going to find more resistance overhead pretty quickly, you know, which is to say that we absolutely could start rising nicely above 42, and I think that could definitely be something that works quite well for Bitcoin. But for now, there's still a lot of resistance there, so it's going to be difficult. You know, the downside, I think, does continue to look much more appealing purely because we've had a massive dump, so that's what technicals are going to show us. And if we do fall back into this descending triangle, it's game over. I'm wiping my hands. This thing, in my opinion, is going to commit to the descending triangle if we fall back into this range. And that means literally right now, Bitcoin, if it falls down by about $1,000, it's back in that range. You know, $1,500, $2,000, done. You know, it's back in that descending triangle. It's already, and this is the biggest thing that you need to keep in mind, ladies and gents. Bitcoin right now is in a bearish trend. It was forming a bearish pattern, which would continue that bearish trend. It broke out. This is the most important thing. It broke out. It had a chance to do something absolutely spectacular. It broke out, and now it's lost all of that steam. So, you know, if it's already been in such a bad place, you know, this is like there's a prisoner, running with my terrible analogies, there's a prisoner tied up, you know, bad state, been tortured, whatever. You know, it looks like it's about to go for execution. Things are really bad. It's you know, it's somebody who, you know, committed treason for the state or something like that. Very, very bad prisoner. You know, very, very bad shape. And now the prisoner tries to escapes a little bit, and now the prisoner is about to get back in shackles. What do you think is going to happen next? You know what I mean? Like, this is something where the market already was leaning to the downside. It's now tested the upside pretty well, and the upside has rejected the market so far. Now, like I said, we still have support, so this might not hold. But if it does, and we end up dipping just a little bit lower, that means this attempt has failed, in my opinion. That means this attempt has failed. We're already down by 7%. This thing hits 10, 15% down. forget about it. You know, the way I see it, that means we're back in this descending triangle. We've already attempted to break out. I don't think we're getting more than one attempt to break out. You know, this is quite a bearish trend, so one is definitely enough for the bulls to know that they don't have the steam to do this right now, and for the bears to know that actually, and most importantly, the manipulators, the whales, the big players, the institutions to know that actually this thing does not have the steam to break out, as is evident by this, because we just couldn't break very high. So we might actually be looking at potentially trending a lot lower before we continue going higher once again. Now, like I said, this is something that is very, very healthy for the market. You know, we're getting very good price action right here. This is not something that should be worrying you too much. It's absolutely beautiful. If you're a trader in this market, if you're on Bybit right now, you're really loving it. I mean, this is a beautiful place to be in the market right now, in my opinion. So don't be too worried about it. And taking it back to Bybit, this is the exchange that I'm using. So if you don't know which exchange to use, or if you're already on something terrible like Binance, for example, God bless you, then definitely consider something like Bybit. This is the exchange that I've been with for years. They're much more secure. They're a great alternative. They don't have the server overload issues that Binance has. Way less shady. I could go on for hours. I've had a terrible experience. But also, if you're just kind of new to the market, it's a great exchange. It's fairly simple to use. I've got a tutorial in the description down below, and with the link down below, which by the way expires very, very soon. I'm going to stop promoting this link probably tomorrow or the day after, because that link is going to expire. You're going to be getting a $1,600 trading bonus. So if you've been waiting to use that link, if you've been waiting to capitalize on up to $1,600 completely free of charge when you deposit your funds, now's your time to get in. It's your last few days. Up to $1,600 completely free, depending on how much you deposit. Whatever you trade and make profits with that cash, you get to keep those profits. So if you double that, if you make a crazy 100x bet, it tends to work, you know, it just happens to work out well, that money's yours. Congratulations. So well worth checking out. If you don't want to gamble, which I completely respect, I think gambling is pretty stupid, you can also use that money to just kind of play around with the buttons and figure out exactly how Bybit works. So definitely check out the link in the description so that you can gain access to this beautiful referral scheme. They don't even require KYC to get started, and of course I'm in the United States right now, so I'm using a VPN. Everybody in the US does need to do that. I can't endorse that though, but I've never heard of any issues. So there you go. Looks pretty bad. I still think that if we're going to fall down, we're going to fall down back into this descending channel, and this could mean that we're going to end up trending much lower. I've already mentioned in the previous videos that that means $25,000, maybe $20,000 are definitely on the cards, but eventually I think that these things will kind of get bought back up. So this is what it might end up looking like. I think that would make complete sense. You know, maybe the recovery up will be a little bit slower, but I think it would make complete sense. I think it would be so healthy for the trend. This is what we've been talking about for a very long time on this YouTube channel. If you've been here, you already know what's up. I was telling VIP members why I began selling my Bitcoin holdings all the way up at $51,000. I was making profits on the way back down. I took profits on my Ethereum position, closed 50% of it when Ethereum was trading at about $4,000, although I did liquidate into Bitcoin, so it's not as impressive as if I sold into the dollar, but still pretty good exit prices. If you are looking for more turned on analysis, if you want things that are more in tune with the market, much more realistic, less moon boy attitudes and things like that, this is the channel to be. If you've enjoyed this video so far, then please do hit up those likes and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And once again, if you want that full access, VIP is where it is. These 3 steps, these 3 clicks will take you less than 30 seconds. We'll get you all the information for it. And like I said, we have so much demand right now, literally hundreds and hundreds of people asking every single day. We have multiple people on my account, not just me. There's more people than just me on my account, and we still can't keep up with the messages. So we are hiring new people to take care of that. But the last time that we had to shut off VIP registrations, we kept it closed for 4 months. So if you're in right now, you're in. There's a discount. You've got the best packages available. It's never been a better time to be inside of the 4Flies VIP group. Our members are absolutely swimming in it. Of course, some also lose money. I got to make that clear with you. It's not like this is the result that everybody sees, but you're going to get access to the same information that these people had, the same tutorials, the same lessons. If you want in, if you want to find out exactly what's on offer inside of the beautiful 4Flies VIP group, 100% profit. Experience in VIP has been life-changing, to say the least. If you want to gain access to everything we've got, bam, right there. I'll see you inside. Hope you've enjoyed this video, and see you in the next one. Bye-bye.